Hey everybody, welcome to Logan Live. For those of you new, just when you come on, say where you're from, if you don't mind. I know a lot of you watch us on replay, appreciate that. I know a lot of you help other people see these, and so that's really cool too. And of course, previous ones are all on my page there at Logan R Stout, on my Facebook page. But we did these Logan Lives on Monday. For those of you new to these, it's just sort of a casual leadership topic, a mindset topic that we talk about. And today we're going to talk about vision because let's face it, one of the greatest visionaries of all time, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We celebrate his day today and what he stood for, and so we're gonna go over we're going over four absolute musts to really understanding vision and how that can play a role in your life and how that can play a role in you being successful and happy and joyful and all that type of stuff. And you look at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, the man. The respect that I have for him, and I know a lot of you all have for him as well. It's nothing short of unreal what this man's done. So while you guys are coming on real quick, I'm going to give you some quick quotes. By the way, vision for me, definition of vision, I believe it's the ability to see things others don't. I believe that's what vision is. Good to see you, Tara. Good to see you guys. Enjoyed Oklahoma, by the way. That was a great event there for everybody that was in Oklahoma this weekend. I'll be in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. If you would like to join us, you're welcome to come. That's this Friday night, leadership training, Saturday training as well. And then I think on the 31st of January, I'll be in Orlando, Florida area. Seattle, Washington on February the 20th. I think I'm going to do Houston, Texas, February 22nd, I believe. So anyways, long story short, we got a lot of good things going on here. Hey, from Oregon, good to see you. All right. So let's talk about this vision. So I love some of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s quotes. So here's one of them. Faith is taking the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. I love that. I love this. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And actually, that was our post on Instagram and all that stuff today. I love this one by Dr. Martin Luther King. He says, "But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars." Right? That's good. And then this one, no one really knows why they are alive until they know what they die for. What they die for. So, hey, let's talk about this. If you have a pen and paper, grab it really quick. Good to see you from Colorado. Yes, Cindy, I'll see you in Orlando. I know Whitwell was in Pennsylvania. Hey, Stacy from El Dorado Hills, California. All right, so let's work it. Vision, number one. The first key to vision is you got to be open to seeing it, right? You have to be open to the fact that you're going to have visions put on your heart, visions put in your life, and you're going to have to be willing to see it so that other people can see it. That's transfer of vision, right? Where you help other people see things they ordinarily wouldn't. Right? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he has helped a lot of people see things they ordinarily wouldn't. And I think, quite frankly, I think a lot of his quotes every year when we celebrate MLK Day, I think a lot of times people are reminded of how he still falls short of what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood for and his vision for our country and the world. And but the first thing with vision is you got to see it. All right. And so you got to see the vision. Most people exist through life. They don't design their lives. And the reason is they're blind. They blind, right? Not literally, right? But figuratively, they're blind. And I think what a shame to have vision yet to not use it, right? And so I just think it's really important that you have to understand you got to see the vision. Number two, you have to be willing to sacrifice for the vision. It's one thing to see a vision, you have to be willing to sacrifice it. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he sacrificed. I mean, he's heroic on the things he did to help bring a servant leader mindset to people, to help bring equality to people. I mean, all the things he stood and fought for, and fought with peace, by the way. He was against fighting, but he was bold and he sacrificed to the point where, you know, he was killed, you know, and in Memphis, Tennessee. A lot of people may not know that, or Memphis, but the point is, I think it's really important that we understand that you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice for your vision. You can't just say you want something, right? I had somebody come up to me the other day. They said, "Logan, I want what you have." And I said, "Well, are you willing to do what I did to get it? Right? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to are you willing to do things others won't, so you can have tomorrow what others don't, right?" And I just think it's really important as we do life. You know, I'm a dad. I've got two boys. I have visions for them, right? I have visions for my marriage. I have visions for my companies. I have visions for all kinds of things. But it's one thing to have the vision and to create bullseyes in your life, but you got to be willing to sacrifice it for it. You can't just hope for something. That's not a game plan, okay? You have to sacrifice for it. That's number two. Number three, you have to be willing to stick with the vision. Too many people get distracted by shiny objects, and what happens is they create a blurry vision in their own minds and a blurry vision in other people's minds, right? You have to be locked in and focused on whatever it is you're doing and stick with it. There is no such thing as in business, right? There's no such thing as some get-rich-quick deal. That does not exist, okay? Any relationship that's worth it's going to have its ups and downs, but if you stick with it, right, you're going to have a lot more ups than you do downs, right? Raising children, stick with it, right? I just think it's important you understand that it's one thing to have vision. It's another thing to sacrifice for the vision, but the third thing is you got to stick with it. In other words, persistence. Be relentless. Don't just sacrifice for a season. Make sure you're sacrificing for a reason, which leads to the fourth key. The fourth key to you absolutely seeing your vision come to fruition, and that is you have to have a mission-oriented vision. You have to have a mission-oriented vision. In other words, there's got to be some cause that's bigger than you, right? You can't just want something for you. It's got to be much bigger than that. And I think it's important you understand that, listen, I kind of said this last week. I think I got cut off at the end. What a shame to put all your time, energy, effort, and sacrifice, to have vision, to take action on that vision, to sacrifice that vision, and to stick with that vision, and then to cross the finish line of the vision, only to find out you were running the wrong race the entire time. What a sacrifice. That would just be horrible, right? You cross the finish line and you're sitting there by yourself on the other end of the finish line. Listen, a vision worthwhile, it involves something bigger than you. It involves something that you leave this world better than you found it. And when you think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how he's left this world better than he found it, right? Now listen, you don't have to have the I have a dream speech. Listen, here's what I do know. Everyone has a speech inside of them. Everyone has a book inside of them. Everybody does. Nobody's an accident. And so I think it's important you understand, listen, you have to be willing to pursue the vision, and you have to realize not everybody's going to understand your vision. They're not going to get your vision. That's why it's your vision. Okay? It's your vision. Don't expect other people to. When I started ID Life as an example, and remember, these Logan Lives are for everybody. I know we have people from all different types of companies, all different walks of life that watch these, and I thank you for that. I do use examples of companies and things I'm involved in, obviously, because that's my story. That's what I do. But when I started ID Life, we had our pre-launch January 18th, 6 years ago. So pretty cool. It's like we just kind of celebrated our pre-launch, and May 1st was our official launch. 6 years ago, I had people tell me I was crazy. I can't believe you're walking away from this and that. I can't believe this. Like, blah, 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 blah. You're crazy. One of my best friends tried to talk me out of it. He literally tried to talk me out of starting ID Life. And here's what I know. And I'm going to read this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quote again because it's huge. Here we go. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they'd die for. Okay? I'm going to tell you, starting ID Life, there's many times I thought I was going to die. I'm just pure exhaustion, stress, just sacrifice, And then when I see stories of people losing weight, when I see stories of people getting out of debt, when I see stories of people having their marriages restored, when I hear stories of people connecting with their spiritual life for the very first time. None of those things, right? Like it makes all the sacrifice and long nights and travels, it makes it all worth it when you see that, right? And so I can tell you this. And I'm just using ID Life. I know there's people from other direct sales companies that watch these, and I hope you feel comfortable watching these. I'm just telling you a story. At the end of the day, if ID Life were simply about what I could get, I would have shut it down a long time ago. I really would have. I would have shut. What has kept me going on this mission is the fact that it wasn't just a vision for something I wanted. It was a mission for what I felt the world needed, right? And I think too many times when we get locked into our goals and our wants in life, they're selfish. And don't get me wrong, you can't give what you don't have, right? There are components to success, obviously, that requires you getting what you need, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But the difference between success and significance, success is getting what you want. Significance is helping other people get what they want, and sometimes helping other people get what they didn't even know they needed. That's significance. Remember, an inheritance is what you leave someone. A legacy is what you leave in someone. And so I just think it's really, really important that you understand that you have a gift in you, the power of one to make a difference in people's lives. You really do, but you're gonna have to seek that vision, see that vision. You're gonna have to sacrifice for that vision. You're gonna have to be willing to stick with it when the going gets tough, right? You have to stick with it, okay? Every great leader at some point, I'm telling you, there's times where they go, is this really worth the fight? Is this really worth what I'm trying to do? Is this really worth the sacrifice? And the answer is yes. as long as the fourth key, as long as it's mission oriented, as long as there's a purpose higher than yourself, it is worth it. It is worth it because you're changing the world for the better, right? And I just think it's important that as we think about what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did, here we are talking about a man. We're talking about him right now, right? There's a day dedicated to this guy, right? Because he was willing to give up what he wanted to help other people get what they want, right? He embodied, like, let's go serve people, right? I mean, his quotes are unbelievable. I love this. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. How about that for sticking with your vision? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope, right? That's so good. So I love this one too. Some of you may go, okay, Logan, what's this vision I'm supposed to have? What's this vision? How do I know what my vision is, right? And that's a whole other loaded deal that we'll talk about on another Logan Live coming up. But I want you to leave you with this, and I want you to really lock in on this right here, okay? Lock in on this. You ready? Because this actually comes from Romans, is the principle of this. But I'm going to give you Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote. Ready? If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as a Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. You know, it's like, if you're going to do it with excellence, right? I'm going to leave you with a story. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. So there was this couple. They were very successful, and they wanted to hire a maid service to come keep their house clean. They traveled a lot. They wanted to keep the house clean. They entertained. And so they were basically interviewing these maid services. They said, listen, we're going to give you a chance to clean the house, and then we'll let you know what we think. Okay? So basically they start going. So the first maid service comes in. Boy, they try to clean this house up and down. It'd be a huge account for them, right? Huge house, worth a lot of money for these companies. So this maid service comes in, and they're trying to clean the house. I mean, they're spotless. Every window, I mean, they got it down, right? They meet with the couple, and they say, we're sorry, but we're going to look for another maid service. So then another company comes in, same thing, right? This could make their company, this could be a huge account. They're going to come in twice a week, keep the house clean. So they come in and right? They meet the couple, and they say, sorry, we're going to look for someone else. All right, well, then another maid service company came in, okay? And they're cleaning the house and doing the deal. And long story short, right before they went to meet with the couple, they finished cleaning the house, and the maid came up and said, hey, we've cleaned your house. We hope you'll be pleased. We hope we can win the account. But hey, I found a quarter sitting underneath one of the dressers, and I wanted to give you the quarter. He said, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the quarter. And she said, well, sir, we would never steal anything out of your house. We're company, we're proud of our integrity, and we would never, if you use us, you'll never have to worry about that. And the man said, that's not what I meant. Thank you for finding the quarter, because I had two other maid service companies not find that quarter. I strategically put that quarter underneath a dresser in a corner in a wall, because I knew the right maid service would find it. They would find it. You're the only one that did. You're hired. When you go to pursue your vision, you're going to have to understand excellence can't be an option. You're going to have to be excellent at what you do. Like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, he said, listen, if you be the best street sweeper in the world, leave no speck left unturned, man. No job is more important than someone else's job. We all have different roles in life. We have different gifts in life. We have different skill sets in life. If not for the street sweepers, think about what our roads would look like, right? Think about that, right? Like, every job is honorable when done with honor. And we got to think about that. Just like that maid, they found the quarter, and it told the husband and the wife, this is our company. They left not one corner, not one speck unclean. And so, listen, I know this, as we go into 2020, January 19th is basically where they say most people quit their New Year's resolutions. Listen, forget New Year's resolutions. Do something bigger than that. I want you to have a vision resolution, something that's mission oriented. Have a vision for your life where you can go back and dream something so big. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be glamorous. It doesn't have to be some charismatic deal. But I do know this, there's something inside of you, some vision inside of you that was put in you, and the world has sort of buried it deep inside. I want you to sweep through all the rubbish And I want you to get down to that vision that was put on your heart when you were younger, maybe, or whatever. And I want you to go live out that vision. I want you to live it out. Understand sacrifice is going to be worth it. It's going to be required. You're going to have to own the vision. It needs to be mission oriented. It may be going and serving the homeless. It may be, coaching some t-ball or something, some kids, right? It may be, who knows? Going and volunteering time at an elderly home, right? It may be going to elementary schools and reading to kids. I don't know. I don't know what it is for you, but here's what I do know. I've never gone and volunteered and done something for someone and felt bad about it. Whenever I get in the woe is me, and whenever I get in the mindset of, oh man, and I feel like I'm just in the funk, I can tell you what I do. And I need to do it more often, quite frankly. But I just go try to serve someone that could never do anything to repay me. I try to just do something for someone that could never repay me. It's amazing how good I feel after that. It's like I can go from a bad mood to a great mood, just like that, just by serving somebody. So listen, here we are, right? About to wrap up January of 2020. And let this be the moment right here that you're watching this. Let this be the moment where you light a fire into that vision that you had, right? If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, man, a lot of you have probably gone through a lot of headaches, right? You could have lost your business, right? And a lot of you have that watch these, right? That's part of it. Okay, but here's the deal. You have to believe. You have to believe that when one door closes, another door opens. Not to get you back where you were, but to launch you into a level that you never knew you could get to. You have to believe in that vision. You have to own that vision, sacrifice for that vision, and never quit on that vision. I'm just telling you, we as humans we're so caught up in the here and now that we don't realize what could be. And when I look at the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I got to believe he's up in heaven looking down going, okay, there's some good things happening here. There's good things happening here. Because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life is not about a bunch of quotes that we read. He lived out those quotes. He embodied those quotes, right? Those weren't some planned quote. That was who he was. That was his heart. That was the vision that God laid on his heart. And look at the difference he's made in so many people's lives. And if you haven't studied Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and you don't understand what he was really all about, I encourage you to do it. I mean, he's one of the greatest leaders of all time, period, end of story. And so with that being said, I love you guys. I love you ladies. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you'll help people see this. I think we all need to be encouraged, right? So we do this every Monday night. So put it in your calendar to remind yourself to tune in 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern. That'd be 6 o'clock Pacific. Every once in a while I can't be on because the kids have a game or I've got a speaking engagement or whatnot or a business meeting. But most of the time I'm on. And so, again, it means the world to give me the gift of your time. Here's to you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., okay? All right, you guys have a great night. God bless.